Hello, and welcome to the Inspired Tuber Show. My name is James. Today we are going to talk about how to align your beliefs with your YouTube channel to bring you more prosperity and success. And when we talk about prosperity, we're not talking just about financial prosperity, although that is, a piece of the puzzle. When we talk about prosperity, we're talking about being prosperous with your subscribers, being prosperous with the views that you're getting, and with the ability to connect with people, and being able to really touch and help people, and bringing yourself into alignment with when I say bring yourself into alignment with YouTube, it's really bringing yourself into alignment with your audience on YouTube and with the people that you want to help. So, hello, hope you're having a fantastic day. We are excited to be here. We've been having some fun. We've been burning a lot of brush this week. We finally lifted our burn ban, and I've been burning almost constantly, trying to get rid of dead branches and leaves and stuff before it catches fire and causes a big problem. So we've been having fun with that. Cleaned up a lot of mess in our yard. Got things to where we can let the toddler outside to play without having to fear for his safety. And that's a huge bonus. And so we're doing well. We're having a great time. We've been doing some work on ourselves. We've been working on things. For those of you that may be new here, if you don't know, the Inspired Tuber Show is kind of our off the wall show where we talk about more of the mindset, the emotional stuff, and the spiritual stuff, and my principles and how we use that in our YouTube journey. And last week during our live stream, we were talking about things like the law of attraction and manifestations and that kind of stuff. And Pixelpia asked us a question about how do we change our mindset? And the key to understanding and changing and making a shift in your mindset is understanding your beliefs. So I decided to do the show today specifically addressing our beliefs and how they affect us, how we formed our beliefs, and what we can do to change beliefs that are not working in our favor. Um, and this is so important. It affects everything in our lives, and especially it affects our job as a content creator. Our beliefs affect everything that we do. So when we're creating content on YouTube, our beliefs affect the content we create. It affects how we talk to people. It affects how we communicate our message to people, and it affects how the people we are communicating with respond to our content. They can get a feel from you based on the way you're communicating, and that's what's going to attract or detract people from subscribing to your channel. So if you are the kind of person that is always complaining or talking about how YouTube is out to get you or how other things are out to get you, and having conversations a lot about what is wrong and why other people are to blame for your lack of success on YouTube, a lot of that comes down to understanding your beliefs, because your beliefs are what's getting in your way of being successful as a YouTuber, not everybody else. Because the fact that you believe other people are responsible for your success is a disconnect between you and what you're doing. One of the things that I found is that our emotions, our feelings, which is an important part of our balancing and alignment with ourselves, come from our beliefs. Our beliefs are just thoughts. Beliefs are thoughts that we have decided to be true, and so we hold on to them. And so in our subconscious mind, we repeat those thoughts whenever situations arise. And our emotions are a feeling that we attach to that thought. And our emotions are just a signal from our more authentic self, for the part of us that is kind of our spirit or our soul. And that part of yourself connecting showing your alignment. So it's kind of like your soul screaming at you, saying you're out of alignment. This thought is not in alignment with who you really are. So whenever you're having a negative emotional experience, whether it's depression or fear or uh, anxiety or um, self doubt, doubting other people, doubting yourself, doubting your channel, or if you're angry or you're frustrated or you're in the emotional state of blame where you're blaming other people, or you're in the emotional state of guilt, which is the same as blame. See, our emotions run on a scale, and because they run on a scale based on the intensity of the emotions, and at the lowest end of the emotional scale is hopelessness and desperation and depression. And those emotional states can lead you to sabotaging your success. Those lead you to taking action. So your actions are just based on your beliefs and your emotions. So the actions you take will be different if you believe differently, and if you deal. And your beliefs just are a matter of your perception of the world around you. And it's the ideas, the thoughts that you've had in your past that you believe to be true, that you hold to be true, and are keeping in your thought process. So if you want to understand how thoughts are formed, there's two real ways that beliefs are formed in our lives. One is through repetition, repeating things over and over and over and over again. And the more you repeat things, the more your beliefs are ingrained in you, the more you repeat that thought. And a lot of our beliefs are formed in our early childhood, and beliefs that can guide us through our whole lives. They're formed from about the age of 3 years old all the way up into our early teens. And yet, these are our most formative years, our least understanding of the world around us. And yet, most of the beliefs that will guide us through our adulthood are formed during that time. And so the perceptions are off. Our understanding of reality is off. So sometimes we form beliefs that do not fit with our adult life. And so we have to work on changing those beliefs in order to be more successful as an adult. I formed a lot of negative beliefs when I was young, and part of it was because I was in an abusive household. I was beaten regularly for things that I did because I was a shit as a kid, and sometimes I was beaten for things that I didn't do because I was blamed for doing things that I didn't do, and because there was blame, the beatings would commence. And it didn't matter whether I did it or not. What mattered was they believed I did it. I was also picked on. I was the shy, nerdy kid that was so unpopular that even the nerdy kids wouldn't hang out with me. And most of the time, I just wanted to be left alone anyway because I didn't fit in with anybody. I was always different. I was always weird. I was always odd. Now I'm 45 years old and I'm still weird and I'm still odd. I've just become to believe and be okay with it and change my ideas about what that meant, change my beliefs about what that meant so that now I'm okay with it and I can be here and talk to people. You know, you're talking to somebody. I'm here. I failed speech class in high school because I believed in I had such negative beliefs about myself, I would not get in front of the class and talk. And so I had to actively work on changing those beliefs before I could do a video. I had to work on changing those beliefs before I could do live streams. I had to work on changing a lot of beliefs about myself. And I'm still working on it. It's something I've been working on for 30 years. It's a process that you go through. It's not something that just happens one time. So repetition of the same things over and over and over and over and over again, you know, If you think about it, I've got a 2-year-old and we're trying to teach him some things right from wrong. We're teaching him, don't hit people, don't, but we don't get mad, we don't get angry, we don't beat him when we're trying to teach him not to hit other people, but we just have to constantly and repetitively tell him over and over again, we don't do that. We don't do that. Don't do that. No, we have to be patient and we have to realize he doesn't really know what he's doing. He's only 2 years old. Um, he's just mimicking what he's seen other people do. So we are trying to train him in that way. And by talking to him and, just repeating over and over again what the right way to do it is. And it's the same way with beliefs. With your beliefs is you just have to repeat them over and over and over and over again. So that's one way that beliefs are formed. Now the other way is a little bit more difficult immediately, but it's a much faster way to instill new beliefs, which is intense emotional moments will trigger a belief very, very quickly and anchor a belief that will stick with you for years and years and years. Now, it could be a positive emotional event that was really, really empowering and full of intense positive emotional energy, intense joy, intense happiness, intense pleasure, or it could be a painful. And we have more beliefs that are honestly instilled from an intense traumatic or painful situation than from a empowering one. We tend to latch onto those a lot more as people. Not naturally, it's just kind of the way we train ourselves as we grow up. And so when you have a really, really intense emotional experience, that will anchor a new belief in your brain. How you choose to respond to the events, and this is where, if you are struggling with things in your life, if you're struggling with addiction, if you're struggling with different things, it's maybe because you have negative beliefs really ingrained in your mindset that you haven't dealt with yet. One of the things that I found too is sometimes we form beliefs that conflict with themselves, with each other, and this causes internal conflict because we have two beliefs warring with each other over which one should take precedence right now when a moment happens where that belief would kick in. So just as an example, maybe we have a belief about money where we believe that money is abundant and that there's an abundance of money out there for us. But we also have a belief that we are not worthy of having that abundance of money. So you have two beliefs. One's a really empowering belief, and one is a really negative, destructive belief. And you have both of these beliefs inside of you. And I picked that one out of my head because that's one that I've had to deal with. That is a internal struggle I've had to deal with recently myself, because that's part of where one of the things I found, I kept sabotaging my ability to earn income with different things I've been doing in my life. And I found that particular belief, I had this conflict. I believed in abundance and I believed in it, but I didn't believe I was worthy of having that abundance. I didn't believe I was worthy of receiving that abundance. I felt I was being selfish or greedy to ask for that kind of abundance because I had these kind of beliefs ingrained into me as a child by well-meaning people that did care about me and that were trying to do what they thought was best, but they were coming from a place of limitation and lack themselves. They weren't coming from a place of understanding how abundance works. So as you take a journey and a cycle of growth, as you are growing as a person and you are raising your awareness of your own place in your world and your ability to affect and create your world, you have to start reflecting on your beliefs. How do we do that? One of the things that I do, I talk about this all the time, but it's my go-to source because it's one of my most common practices in my life, is meditation or contemplation, just sitting and thinking about it, and just to ask yourself the question, you know, What is getting in my way in this relationship in my life? We have relationships with everything in our life. We have a relationship with our YouTube channel. We have a relationship with our subscriber base. We have a relationship with our money. We have a relationship with our income. So ask yourself, if you're trying to say you're trying to increase your subscribers, what is your relationship with your subscriber numbers, and what are the blocks you have that are getting in the way of you gaining more subscribers to your channel? If you're not doing this, if you're trying to increase your income, think about, contemplate, what are the blocks that are getting in my way of increasing my income? And when you do this, then and you contemplate that for a while, an idea will come up to you, and the beliefs will start coming to the surface that are guiding that part of your life, and write them down. And then you can look at that belief and say, is this a belief that I want to hold on to? Is this belief empowering me, or is it hurting me? And if it's an empowering belief, it'll be positive and it'll feel positive. It'll be a positive emotional energy. It'll make you happy. It'll make you feel secure. It'll make you feel safe. It'll make you feel joyful. It'll make you feel grateful. It'll make you feel appreciation and joy, which are the highest levels of emotional wellness on the emotional scale. If it's a negative belief, it's a disempowering belief, one that weakens you, it'll have negative emotion. It might make you angry. It might make you upset. Might make you feel depressed or worthless. How you feel is a measure of how in alignment with your true self your beliefs are, and the thoughts you're having are. So if you have these thoughts that are disempowering you, what you can do is you can rewrite them. So you can say, okay, this is a negative thought. So this belief that I'm not worthy of the abundance that I deserve or that I want. I'm not worthy of having that abundance in my life. So whenever I came upon this belief inside myself, I wrote that down. And then I said, is this true or is it not true? Is it possible that this belief that I have is not exactly true? Because if it's true, truth is finite. And if it's true for me, it has to be true for everyone. If it's not true for anyone in the world, then it can't be true for me. This is the way I look at beliefs. And so I cannot say that I am not worthy of this belief is true for everyone in the world. So therefore, it's not true for me. So now you have a choice. I can continue to believing that I'm not worthy, or I can change the belief to something that I would be. So I change it to I am worthy of unlimited abundance in my life. I deserve unlimited abundance in my life. And I already have unlimited abundance in my life. And that is one of the most empowering. How does that feel? To change your belief from I am unworthy of unlimited abundance, but to not only am I worthy of it, I already have it. That empowers you. Now, is that a belief that may or may not be true? Yeah, all beliefs are. But is that more empowering than the other belief? Yes, it is. That empowers me to go for that unlimited abundance. That gives me something to strive for. It gives me something to drive for. That's going to help pull me through those rough times. Because there's rough roads. There's going to be contrast. There's going to be contrasting times where things are not going the way we want them to go, or we think they should, because we're out of alignment with creating that life that we want. And it takes some time when you start working on these things. If you're new to understanding these universal laws and how they work, it takes some time and practice, just like anything else. It's a skill you develop over time. It's something that's always there working, but being able to use them successfully in your own favor is a skill you develop with practice. It's a skill I practice every day. So how I changed this belief was, one, I wrote it down. And I wrote down the changed beliefs. So I wrote it out as an affirmation. I deserve unlimited abundance, and I already have I have unlimited abundance in my life. And I wrote that down. And then I wrote it down again. And I wrote it 10 times in my journal. And I made sure I felt that. I felt that emotion when I did it. So I felt that abundance. I felt that security and the safety that that abundance would bring to me. I felt the joy and the happiness that I would be able to serve other people better because I had this unlimited abundance to serve them with. I felt that unlimited joy that I would be able to give more money to other people. It's opening your mind to unlimited abundance. And that's just one example. We can do it with subscribers. Why am I blocking myself from subscribers? Why is my subscriber count not growing? Now, that's just an example. My subscriber count's actually been growing faster than I expected it to, even though some people are complaining or telling me that it's not growing fast enough. For me, I think it's growing faster than especially since I've done very little to promote the channel yet. I've been so focused on pumping out content and getting through this strategy and getting through these last 5 videos in the core content strategy that I've been talking about that I haven't really done much work to promote this channel. I'm about to be. I'm about to be hitting promotion hardcore, trying to build our subscriber base. But I haven't done it up to now because I was trying to get my core content out. I was trying to get my core 5 pillars of content. See, the strategic approach I took to my YouTube channel was, I planned all this out before I ever started the channel, was I have my 5 pillars of content, which are the 5 kind of categories of the content we're creating on our channel. And I created 6 or 7 videos on each category of my channel. And the last pillar of content was on how to monetize our channel, which is the series I'm doing right now. And I've gotten 3 videos out. I've got another one coming out Friday. We're going to be doing another live stream on it Friday. And I've got 2 more videos to record on it. And once we get those done, then we're done with our core content. And then we're going to be doing our deep dive channel audits ourselves. We're going to be going through our channel, looking deep into our analytics, looking at what's working, what's not working, what's connecting with people, what's getting the most views, picking out the category specifically that gets the most traffic, the most engagement, the most views, and figuring out which one category is like our top category on the channel. And then we're going to go hardcore on that category. And that's where we're going to double down and go all in on that one category that is the most effective category on our channel. And this is the process I recommend to people. The same process I coach people on is you develop anywhere from 3 to 5 good categories of content that you're creating on your channel. You do a good 7 to 10 videos. I did about 6 or 7 on each category, and you get yourself a core base of content. And once you get that core base of content, then you figure out what is the small audience that you built at that point responding to. And when we do that, then you can then get out and promote your channel and really do a lot to start really honing in on who your core audience is and what it is that they want. Like, one of my things with this channel has always been, I was building this channel geared towards total newbies to YouTube growth. But here's the thing. I've been looking at my subscribers lately. My subscribers, based on the subscriptions, the ones that have public subscriptions, I was actually looking at, the subscriber counts of the subscribers that are subscribed to my channel. 75% of the subscribers to my channel have over 1,000 subscribers, which means they have more subscribers than I do. 75% of the people that are subscribing to my channel have more subscribers than I do. So I need to kind of rethink how I'm doing my content, and am I serving those people with content that's valuable to them when they have more subscribers than I'm teaching people how to get? So we're looking at kind of rethinking how we are approaching our content and rethinking how we're serving the audience that we're building, because obviously the audience that's building on our channel is bigger than the audience that we are targeting and is subscribing to our channel. It's not the audience that I was targeting from day one on this channel, but that's who tended to come to our channel. So that's something you always want to be looking at. We want to be looking at our analytics. And even though I'm almost done with this video series, but I'm already starting to do that deep dive channel review, looking at the content that we've already created, looking at what people have responded to the most, and starting to break down the categories and what people are responding to. And I have two categories that are kind of neck and neck right now. We're going to see how the monetization does for a week or two before we really make the final decisions. But what we're going to do is we've got a couple of categories right now that are neck and neck as far as the level of engagement, the number of views, the number of watch time, the number of subscribers we've gained from that content. And I have two categories that are kind of neck and neck, and they're almost equal on who's getting the on all of the metrics. I have two categories that are responsible for 75% of the subscribers on my channel between those two categories. And they're neck and neck as how many subscribers they've gotten. They're like within like 2 or 3 subscribers of each other. I have two categories on my channel that are within that range. Hey, Matt. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Thanks for joining us. So, as I'm doing all this, I've been looking at my beliefs. This is where I was going with that. I kind of got off on a tangent about my channel, but the reason I'm going into that is because I got into my beliefs about my YouTube channel, about who my ideal audience was and who the audience I was targeting was. I had this belief system set in my channel and all of what I wanted my channel to be about and the subscribers I wanted for my channel, but the subscribers that I have been attracting to my channel do not fit the belief. And so this is when I'm looking at and saying, well, no wonder, I've got 120 subscribers and only about, 30 to 40% of my subscriber base is watching my videos, because only about 30% of my subscriber base actually fits the content I've been creating. Because about 30% of my content has been targeting absolute newbies on YouTube that are just getting started and working their way up. And it's only about 30% of my subscriber base at this point. So that means that I've got to do something that serves that other 70% of my subscriber base and start doing content that can serve them and help them take their YouTube channel to the next level, which is a little scary for me, because how do I tell you how to take your channel to the next level when you've got 5 times as many subscribers? I have a subscriber on my channel. Of course, I know who it is, a friend of mine, but he has 85,000 subscribers and he subscribed to my YouTube growth channel. How crazy is that? 85,000 subscribers subscribe to little old me with 120 subscribers. Now, come on. He's teaching me how to do YouTube. So that's one of the things that I'm getting at, though, is that we want to make sure we are targeting our content for the audience we're actually building, not the audience we think we're building. We need to target our audience, and we need to form our beliefs about what kind of content we're creating around the actual audience we have. Now, for me, it's easy to look at because I'm doing YouTube growth, and I can look at the subscriber counts of the video of the people subscribing to me, at least the ones that have their subscriptions set to public. Now, that doesn't mean all my subscribers are there, because I'm sure some of my subscribers are like me and have their subscriptions set to private, so I don't see those numbers. But with the ones I can look at, about 70% of my subscriber base is is not interested in the content, because they're either already doing this content that I've been creating, and the strategies I've been talking about, or they're not interested in doing the things I've been talking about, and they probably already explored that. So I've got to rethink my entire strategy for this channel, because as I'm looking at the numbers, as I'm looking at the data, I have got to serve the audience I have. That's one of the things that we talked about in Monday's video, is getting back to sharing my journey, sharing my experience, and sharing what's working and what's not working for me. That's something that's not working for me right now that I've got to get. That's why I'm getting, that's why I have 120 subscribers with, sometimes getting 30, 40, 50 views on a video, because I'm making videos that aren't serving the large majority of my subscriber base that I've already built. And then getting YouTube to recommend my content on the correct channels, because I'm noticing that some of the suggested traffic, of course, I never know what all videos I'm being suggested on, but I'm getting suggested traffic from weight loss sites. I'm not surprised by the fact I'm getting a lot of suggested traffic from reselling sites, even though I'm not a reselling channel. I hang out on a lot of reselling channels, and I've gotten a lot of views and subscribers from the reselling community, because that's kind of where I got started. But then I'm also getting other niches and other stuff, and I'm getting very little traffic that's coming from other YouTube growth channels. So they're not getting served, or they're not getting clicked when they're shown next to those videos. And that's the downside. The downside with YouTube analytics is I can only see what people are clicking on. I can't see what it's being served to that's not getting clicks. I can see that my impressions are going up, so I know it's being served somewhere. I just don't know where it's being served. And I have no control over where it's being served. Once I've done my optimization and done the best I can to tell YouTube where to serve it, I can't control where they're serving it. So that's one of the things that we're really, really focusing on. This is why we've been focusing on building up the library of content, so that YouTube has more data and more information on who to serve my content to. Also, I'm going to be doing a lot more networking and trying to get out and talking to more people in the niche. Now I feel like I have enough content on my channel to be able to get some engagement with other people and to share that message with other people. And this was part of my strategic plan all along. But we have these beliefs about what we're doing, and then we have sometimes beliefs that don't serve us. We sometimes have negative beliefs, or we have erroneous beliefs, like that one where I believed I was creating content for a certain audience, but I wasn't building that audience. I wasn't gaining that audience. And I had the same thing happen with our storage scavenger channel too, because my belief about what I was doing with the storage scavenger was to build an audience around people that were interested in the treasure hunt and the stuff that we were finding, that they would then go to my eBay store and buy stuff. Well, what happened was I built an audience of other resellers and people that were interested in learning about reselling the stuff that we found and how we resell the stuff that we find and the sourcing and how we do our sourcing. And they wanted to know more of the how to do the business, not being customers for the business, because that's one of the things. If you're doing like a business type niche like that one, you have to think about, is your target audience the customers for the niche, or is it the other business owners in the niche that you're just networking with and helping other people build their business? That's one of the things that we found with the storage scavenger channel, was we were building an audience based on people that were interested in building a reselling business, not people that were wanting to be customers of a reselling business. And the intention of the channel from the start was to build a customer base of people that were interested in being customers, because it was all about showcasing the stuff we find and driving them into our sales traffic and into our sales funnel. And that didn't work very well. So we did get some sales. I mean, we get some occasional sales through our eBay store. We still get some sales through our auctions. I mean, we run full-time auctions, but most of the auctions that we had kind of went low bids because most of the people were resellers. So they were wanting to make some money on the stuff that they were buying from us. So, and a lot of resellers have been buying through YouTube auctions during this pandemic, because there's a lot of resellers that can't get out and source. Some of them were already buying through auctions because they couldn't get out and source due to disabilities and stuff, but it became a lot more prevalent whenever all of a sudden everybody was on lockdown. Hey, boatman. Saw your comment earlier. I just replied to it. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Thanks for joining us. Haven't seen you in a while. So, as we're exploring our beliefs about YouTube, as we're exploring our beliefs about what we're doing and how we're serving, you also need to explore your own beliefs about yourself and start thinking of, hi, Rob. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining us. Oh, great. Thanks for joining our channel. Yeah, my StreamYard chat is a little bit behind. And I've been working on my battle station. I now have 2 monitors. So I have one over here and one over here. I got 2 different chats going. So I got the YouTube chat over here, and I got the StreamYard chat over here. So we've been working on our studio. I'm still working on reorganizing my battle station. I just got the second monitor hooked up today. I've had the monitor for a while, but I've been looking for the SD cables, and I found one in a storage unit today. It's the what is it? The DVI cable, I guess, is what I needed to hook up my monitor, and I didn't have one. I've been looking, and none of the stores around here have one, and I found one in a storage unit. So, but we're talking about beliefs. This show, for those of y'all that are new here that have been following me for a little while, but this is my Inspired Tubers show that we do every Wednesday night, and it gets a little weird because I do talk about things like the law of attraction and spirituality, but it's more about the Inspired Tuber show is more about finding inspiration, getting out of desperation, and understanding your mind, your emotions, and your spirit, and how those things affect us as a content creator. So this is kind of more existential. We've been talking about beliefs and how our beliefs affect our content and how we can create better beliefs to make more empowering content for our audience and for ourselves. And one of the things that we try to do is, this came from a question from one of our viewers last week, which was asking, how do we make a shift in our mindset and in our beliefs so that we can be more successful as a content creator? And and I kind of give her a brief answer, but I was just like, this is a answer I could go into an entire show over. In fact, I could probably do more than a whole show, because I've been talking about this to myself, going through these ideas all day long, literally all day. I just spent 12 hours going through it. There's no way I'm going to even cover it all in an hour. But our beliefs come from repetition of skills or from an intense emotional experience. And when you have a repetition of an intense emotional skill, it really ingrains that belief into your system. So if you want to change a belief that you have to use an intense emotional experience repetitively to ingrain that new belief into your system. But you also have to break the records of the old beliefs and rewrite them so that they don't disempower you. And when we're talking about beliefs, like the example I used was my belief about abundance and about money, was I had this belief that and I had these 2 warring beliefs. I believe in abundance. I believe there's an abundance of money out there and that there's plenty for everybody, and that we don't have to be. I believe poor is a mindset, not a technical fact. It's just a mindset. And that's why poor people tend to stay poor and don't build wealth and don't build their income and don't grow financially, because they make bad financial decisions, one. And part of that's because their beliefs about money. But then you also have people that, like, don't prioritize their money very well. You have people that don't plan their money very well. And then they reject the idea that they should be planning, that they should be responsible for planning how they use their money. But then these people that, and I've seen it, I see people all the time that, they've got a $60,000 car, they got their $60,000 Mercedes, and they got their 85-inch big screen TV that costs $3,000, but they can't put food in their refrigerator because they don't have any money. They can't pay their rent because they don't have any money. They got all this crap that they don't need. And most of it's bought on credit because they can't pay cash for any of it. So then they're paying interest to have all this crap that they don't need, and they can't even put food on their table. So people have to learn how to prioritize. And a lot of that comes down to understanding your beliefs. And you have to understand your emotions. We do more damage to ourselves because of our emotions and how we feel than we do because of anything else in the world. It's not everything going on outside of us that's causing our struggles. It's what's going on inside of us and how we're responding to what's going on outside of us that's causing all of our struggles in our lives. This is something that I've come to realize myself, and I've been working on this, and my slow growth on YouTube has been a result of my own beliefs about myself and my own beliefs about my place. I've been fighting, and it's part of what kind of got into the conversation we had on Monday. I've been fighting what they call imposter syndrome because, here I am, small channel, only 124 subscribers, not getting lots of views, and I'm sitting here trying to tell people how to do things on their YouTube channel. And I have to keep remembering and reminding myself and getting back into my own beliefs. Why am I doing this? Well, I started doing it because people were asking me questions about YouTube almost on a daily basis. We were on the Storage Scavenger channel, and every time we would go into somebody's live stream, our conversations would not be about reselling. It would turn into how to do different things on YouTube, or how to grow on YouTube, or how to work with different things in YouTube. And I was going to people's live streams, and they were inviting me onto the live stream to teach them how to use StreamYard and teaching them how to use the tools. I had people calling me up that were trying to set up their first auctions, and I had to teach them how to set up their homepage so that their live auction would show up on their homepage. So everything I was doing was, teaching people how to use YouTube. And it got to a point where I decided to start a channel on it. And then, I also had the Storage Scavenger. I also had my Thoughts on Life Today channel. And I have a few other channels. I had 5 YouTube channels going at once last year. And I decided I needed to focus on one. And so I haven't been posting on the other channels because I'm focusing on building one channel. And since we focused on just one channel, our growth has started going up. Our videos, we started getting videos out. When I started this channel, my plan was to take, I've been working on this whole strategy I was talking about a few minutes ago. My plan was to take a year to get through that strategy. And I did it in 4 months. Because when you have a plan and you have a clear direction of where you're going, then you can get there often much faster than what you intended and expected to. And because I had a clearly cut plan of how I was going to do my content, I was able to batch record a lot of content. I was able to produce multiple videos in a week instead of just one. And because I was able to do things out that way, I was able to produce a lot of content very, very quickly on this channel. I've gotten almost 80 views or videos on this channel between our videos and our live streams, and that includes our shorts too. But we've got almost 80 uploads on this channel, and in just 4 months. And I know a lot of channels that have been on for a year that haven't achieved what we've achieved already. As far as getting the content out there, now it's a matter of getting the content in front of people and getting more people to know about the channel. And that's what we're working on doing now. We're starting to work on more promotion, doing more things to get the word out about what we're doing and to sharing the content out. But it was all strategically planned out. And that strategy has been ramped up and ramped up. So in less than 4 months, or just a little over 4 months, I was able to do the entire plan I was expecting to do in a year of content. So that's something that you can do when you really start honing in on getting yourself focused. And we couldn't do it if we were running all 5 channels the way we were. We had to focus in order to do it. We had to focus and really hone in on running one channel and building one channel to be successful. Um, and so that's one of the things that you have to really look at when you're looking at your beliefs is what are your beliefs about the way you're putting out your content? What are your beliefs about the type of content you're putting out? What are your beliefs about yourself and how people are responding to the content? If you look at somebody giving you a thumbs down and you start getting upset or you start getting angry about getting thumbs down on your videos, that's going to lead you to act differently than if you're getting thumbs up on your videos. Or it's going to lead you to react differently than if you don't feel bad about people. I don't care. If y'all want to give me a thumbs down, give me a thumbs down. You want to give me a thumbs up, give me a thumbs up. Just give me a thumb. I don't care if it's up or down because that's engagement on my channel. And I understand that. But a lot of people get upset when they get those thumbs downs or when they get a negative comment in the chat. Whenever I get a negative comment in my chat, I hit delete and I never even think about it again. I don't care. I don't give it any attention. I don't give it any energy. I don't focus on that because that will bring your energy down and that will bring your content down because it'll come across in the way you talk. It's going to come across when you get into a negative emotional state, the people watching your content can feel that. And this is like one of the things that I got into, and it's part of a discussion that I had with some other people in a private Facebook group the other day is, I started creating content about my journey, but and I try to share my mistakes after I figured out how to solve them. I don't talk about my problems. I talk about solutions to problems. So whenever and it's because in my mindset, in the way I look at things, I want to bring positive energy to everything I'm doing. I don't want to be bringing people down. I don't do the things when I do share struggles that we've been through. It's not to get people to feel sorry for me. It's to help other people understand how to avoid those situations themselves. So I always want to find 2 things. One, I want to find my own solution to get myself out of it. And so I can share that so that if people are in the same problem I'm sharing, then they can get out of it. And the other side is I want to figure out a way around it so that people don't have to go through that problem in order to grow. And so that's one of the things that I'm always trying to do. I'm trying to I share my problems after I've found a solution and a way around it so that you don't repeat it, so that I don't repeat it, and so that somebody else doesn't have to go through it themselves. I don't want to go and just start complaining about my problems because I see channels that do that. And what happens? They get a lot of sympathy out of people and it feels good for a moment. And so then they do it again and they get a lot of sympathy. But eventually that sympathy kind of runs out because people just start tired of hearing you complain all the time. Diamond West. This is not an auction channel, sir. Although we are going to be talking about auctions in the next few days. Next week, I've got several videos coming out. Yeah, I love it when I get thumbs down. It's interaction on my channel. And it means that somebody was engaged in my channel. Whether you liked what I said or not, you were engaged enough in what I said to give me something. Or even if you just don't like me and you gave me a thumbs down before my video even went live, which happens a lot, especially on live streams. If you give me a thumbs down, that's interaction on my channel. That is, and YouTube sees that as engagement on my video. Regardless of when it came in or who did it, they just see it as engagement. So that's a plus to me. So you don't like my content? Well, thank you for supporting my channel and letting YouTube know that I'm making content that's worth engaging with. If you're going to leave me a negative comment, thank you for engaging on my channel. I might still delete it, but thank you for engaging on my channel. But this is one of those things when we're looking at our beliefs. So when we're talking about beliefs, I talked a little bit earlier. If you just came in and you missed that part, we did talk about what beliefs are and how they're formed. So, how do we change a negative belief into a positive belief? The first one is identifying the belief, which I talked about, contemplating and meditation and doing these things to bring that meditation, that belief into your conscious mind so that you know what that belief is, writing it down and then rewriting it into a more positive. And you can tell if it's a positive belief by how it makes you feel. Your feelings are really your kind of emotions are your guidance system to let you know how well you're doing as far as positive and negative, and how you're doing as far as in alignment with your higher aspect of yourself. And so emotions, how you feel, is going to tell you how positive that new belief is. So like when I am blocking myself from getting subscribers, just as an example, I'm not saying I am, but if somebody's blocking themselves from gaining subscribers, why are they blocking themselves from getting subscribers? Well, they may have a belief that they're not worthy of having a huge audience, or maybe they have a belief inside of themselves that they're not good enough. If you think you're not good enough, and this doesn't have to be specifically about YouTube, it could just, you just have a general belief about yourself that you're not good enough to be successful at whatever it is you're doing, then whenever you apply that to YouTube, you're going to sabotage yourself from being successful at YouTube. So you need to rewrite that belief to being something that you are worthy of having that. And if it's something specific, make a specific belief about it. So I am worthy of unlimited numbers of subscribers. I am worthy and already have out there looking for me. There are thousands of people out there looking for me right now. And I am going to create content for those thousands of people that are looking for me. And then we start looking at how we create our content. This is what packaging of our content is all about. Once you realize and identify who your ideal customers are, who that audience is, and you realize that that audience is out there looking for you, then you have to package your content. This is what we've been talking about with packaging. This is your thumbnails, your designs, your titles. You put them in a way that those thousands of people that are already looking for you can make it easy for them to find you. You want to get out there and network with people who have the audience that you want so that you can get those people to see. And when I go to another channel, I'm not going out there saying, hey, come subscribe to me. I'm going out there and providing value, sharing information, and saying, if you want to know more, you can check out my channel. And that's all I say. I don't ever say go subscribe to my channel. I say check out my channel. And if they're interested in subscribing, they will subscribe. If they're interested in my content and if they are in alignment with the content that I'm creating, then they're going to subscribe. I just have to send them to my channel and have my channel set up to capture them and to get them subscribed. My job when I'm on a channel is not to get subscribers. My job when I'm on another channel is to get people onto my channel. Is to get them to see my homepage. Is to get them to my channel. It's my channel homepage's job to get them to subscribe. You have to understand where you're at in the process. Your job when you're networking on another channel is not to get subscribers. Your job when you're there is to talk to people, provide value to them, serve them where they're at, and get them to your channel. And then let your channel keep them on your channel. If you do it, this is where we use the optimization strategies that we've talked about in a lot of our other videos. If you optimize your channel properly, then once they come to your channel, if they are in alignment with your message and with the things that you're teaching and the things that you're doing, they're going to want to subscribe to you. They've already gotten some value from you, or they would have never come to your channel in the first place. So they're already on the edge. All you have to do is have your channel set up to push them over the edge. The other thing is, this is one of the things that I found. Some of the channels that I'm getting the most recommended content from are channels that I've been on their live streams. This is why I want to get out and network with other YouTube channels in my niche. Because if I can get out and get on their live streams and they link in their chat or in their description or in their video to send people to my channel, this is why collaborations are really, really effective. It's not just about the collaboration itself, and it's not just about the live stream itself. YouTube will recommend your content because that channel already sent their audience to your channel. That YouTube is going to automatically be recommending your content on those channels. This is why collaboration is important. It's not just the collaboration itself, it's the after effect. Because then later, YouTube is going to be putting your videos in recommended content next to their videos. And this is happening to me. I've been on Johnny Cajun Roots Reseller. I've been on his channel 3 or 4 times talking about YouTube stuff, and we sent people over here that were interested in that discussion. And guess what? I'm getting a lot of recommended traffic from his videos, not just the live streams I was on, but I'm getting a lot of traffic from being in recommended content next to his videos because his channel has been sending subscribers to my channel, viewers to my channel, and they've been viewing my videos and subscribing to my channel. So YouTube is saying his audience is interested in my audience. It's not totally true because it's a reselling channel on my YouTube growth channel. It just happened to work out that way. Also, other channels that I've been on with T from Auctions for You. Same thing. I'm getting views from Auctions for You on this channel and subscribers from Auction for You on this channel because I've been on live streams with her. I've done auctions with her, and I've sent people over here from her channel. So because we've sent views from their videos over here, YouTube looks at all of those. If it's a pinned comment, a description link, a link in the chat, YouTube looks at all of that as the same thing. It's all a suggested video. It's all counted as a suggested video. If you're getting those suggested traffic from their content, YouTube is going to show your content next to their content more. So you have to set your mindset and create in your mind that we're going to these other channels not for the immediate traffic that we can get from them, but from the ongoing long-term traffic we can get from being recommended next to them, because that's going to give YouTube more data about who your audience is. So they're going to recommend it more to that audience. So the more channels that you can do this, and I didn't realize this when I started doing it. This is something I've been learning and I've been hearing, and I've heard people talk about collaboration, but I didn't really correlate until I started watching this data on my own channel. I didn't really correlate, and I never really heard anybody talking about when you do a collaboration with somebody and they link to your channel and you get traffic to your channel from their channel, YouTube is going to recommend your content on their channel more. Nobody was talking about that. Everybody was talking about just hoping that you show up in their suggested search. But that's one way you can kind of tell YouTube to show them on that channel. So it's kind of an extension of collaborations. But you have to believe in yourself enough to be able to do that. You have to believe in the value you're providing in order to do that. You have to believe that you have value to add, especially if you're going to bigger channels. I'm not trying to get on bigger channels. Most of the channels I'm trying to network with right now are right around my side, between 100 subscribers and 500 subscribers. I've got several channels right now within this YouTube growth community that are right around my size, that are all newer channels. We all started about the same time, and we've kind of started networking together, and we're doing some collaborations together. I got one for those of you that watch the Friday morning live show. Adrian from Adrian Rose is going to be coming on. We're going to be talking about how to do merch on your channel. She's got a lot more experience with merch than I do, so I invited her to come on and talk about merch, and how to do it. So that's going to be Friday morning at, I think we're going at 11:30 because 10:30, which is my normal time slot, is a little early for her because she's on the she's on the West Coast. So that's like really early in the morning for her. So we're going a little bit later, but that's going to be Friday morning. And we're going to be reaching out to other channels and trying to bring more people on. The whole point of that show, Conversations on Content, is the name of the show, and it was intended to be kind of an interview conversation with other content creators, not just me rambling on. But I knew I needed to kind of get my channel kick started and get my content off the ground before I started bringing in other people, because I got to have some reason for them to want to come on my channel. So now I'm starting to get some views and starting to get some, subscribers on my channel to where we can start bringing in other channel owners and building those collaborations. But we have to start thinking about how that's going to affect our growth and how that's going to affect us, And so I love doing collaborations. It's one of the biggest things that I've done on all of my channels to grow them. Every channel I've had that's grown beyond 100 subscribers, it's been through collaboration. Every single one of them. And the bigger the channels you can collaborate with, the faster that growth is going to happen. But if you're set up and optimized well, but you have to believe in yourself and believe in your message, especially when you're small. If you're a small channel like we are, you have to have faith in yourself and believe in your ability to deliver if you're going to reach out to these bigger channels. I like starting with smaller channels, engaging with them, and creating a little bit of comfort. Why? Because that's going to help reinforce my belief in my ability to do it. If I can do it with a smaller channel a few times, that's going to reinforce the belief inside myself. And then the difference between beliefs, there's two different types of beliefs that we have. We have beliefs that are based on faith. Beliefs based on faith is when we have a belief inside of ourselves that we think is true, and we're taking it on faith and we're believing in something bigger than ourselves, but we haven't proven it to be true. We haven't seen the reality of it yet. And these are thoughts and ideas are really where we need to start with using the law of attraction, with being able to create deliberately in our lives, because we have to take things on faith. When we start doing these things, we start trying to put things out there that we want to bring into our lives, we have to take it on faith that it's going to come. But then you get to the point of, and once you have some experience with seeing the results, now you have a knowing. And knowing is different than believing. Believing is you have faith and you believe that it's true, but you don't have any tangible evidence of it. Knowing is when you have experience of it and you have proof, you have that tangible proof, at least inside your own mind, of having experiences. When I started working with things like the law of attraction, I kind of took it on faith that it was true. At first, I thought it was kind of hokey. A lot of people did. But then as I started diving into it more, I decided to take a leap of faith with it and just practice it. And we started with little things. And we started focusing on little things. And sure enough, it worked. And then I started developing more awareness of it. And as I started diving into it, I started understanding that we're always using and we're always attracting things. But if we're in a negative emotional state, when we're doing attraction, we are attracting negative things into our lives. And if we're in a more positive emotional state, and it's a very specifically alignment with different things, like if you're in alignment with the lack of money, you're probably attracting an abundance of the lack of money into your life. If you're focused on, having abundance of wealth and having an abundance of income and an abundance of things to sell and the ability to sell it, then you will attract an abundance of those things that you're focused on into your life. it's the natural law and it's the natural way. Well, I've talked about this before, but I have attracted many things into my life, and most of them have been things that were going against me because I was focused in the negative state. But then as I've grown, as I've matured, as I've been working on myself, I've been able to attract more positive things into my life using these principles. And now we're focused on learning and applying the same principles that we've learned in the law of attraction to our YouTube growth and to our YouTube channel. And so we're using some of the same things that we call the art of manifesting, the art of allowing, and making these things into our channel. And since we started doing this, we have started seeing growth in our channel. We've been seeing some fairly consistent growth over the last few weeks. We only had 56 subscribers January 1st. We're now over 124. So over half of my subscriber base has come since the start of the year. And we're just at the start of March. So we're seeing some consistent growth. It hasn't been explosive growth, but it's been consistent growth. And that's what I want. But now, as I've been looking at my content, this is one of the things I was talking about earlier. I'm having to refigure and replan because I want to make sure that I'm targeting the content towards the audience I've already built. Because a lot of those people that are subscribing to me over these last few months are not in the audience I was creating content for. I've been creating content for absolute newbies, people just starting out on YouTube who've never had any experience at all. And yet most of the people that are subscribing to my channel, the 70% of my subscriber base, is people that have over 1,000 subscribers, which means the content I'm creating is not helping them, which is why they're not watching my videos. So I've got to restructure my channel. Yes, Boatman, 127 subscribers. That's what I had whenever I started the show. So we appreciate every one of 127 you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for supporting our channel, for helping us to grow our content. And we're trying to make some shifts in how we're creating our content to better serve those of you that are coming to watch our videos. Because that's what we are here to do. So we talked about, writing down your beliefs, rewriting the beliefs. Now, one of the things that we do to instill that new belief and make it, taking it from just a thought or an idea into a belief, is repeating that process every single day for 30 days. So if you write it down 10 times every single day for 30 days, that's 300 repetitions. And whenever I write it down, I put myself into the emotional state that I want to align with that. So for a abundance, for something of an abundance of subscribers, you want to write that belief, the new belief that you want to instill in yourself, write it out 10 times, feeling as if it was already real. Finding the feeling of what it would feel like to have that many subscribers. And you have to use your imagination, which is the most powerful tool in your arsenal for creating things in your life, is your imagination. And then you write it down 10 times and you feel that. This is where affirmations, this is basically, if you've ever heard of affirmations, this is where affirmations are used wrong. Most people use affirmations and they just repeat them. But most of the time, one, they don't believe in them. They don't believe the affirmations to be true. They just are repeating an affirmation, trying to overwrite a existing belief instead of rewriting the existing belief into something new. And the second part is they don't get the emotional attachment. Remember what we said earlier, the second way that a belief is formed is by an intense emotional situation. So the more intense you can make that emotional feeling, the more intense and hyperactive, the faster and the easier it's going to anchor into your system. And so I do this for 30 days. And then I kind of test the belief in myself and see if it's instilled. And if that belief is ingrained in me, then it will feel differently when I think about that topic and whenever I'm working on that particular subject of the belief. If it didn't anchor, if the old belief is still lingering around and it didn't anchor in the new belief, then I go through the entire process again for another 30 days. When I first started doing this, it took me about 3 to 4 months to anchor a new belief. Now I can do it in about 30 days. But when I first started doing it, I didn't understand the emotional attachment. When I started adding the emotional attachment, really cut down the time it takes me to anchor one in. So I start feeling that emotion, and I try to put myself in as high of an emotional state as I possibly can whenever I'm doing this. And I do this in my gratitude journal. And I start doing in my gratitude journal every day, writing gratitude. Thank you for making this a reality in my life. So whatever it is, if it's subscribers, put a specific number to it. Say 100 subscribers, say 500 subscribers, say 1,000 subscribers. And when I do my gratitude journal, I write thank you for my gratitude for the day. Part of my gratitude is writing in there thank you for these 1,000 subscribers. So we're getting our mindset into our belief system, the mindset of already having that which we want. That's one of the keys to understanding the law of attraction. The law of attraction works on what you think about. If you're thinking about it as if you already have it, it will come to you much more quickly and much more easily and with less effort. Your emotions are the key to power. Your positive emotions are the key to power. Your negative emotions are the key to force. When you're using a negative emotion, you're having to force things to happen. When you're in a low emotional state, this is where the hustle mentality comes from. It really comes from a low in emotional state and being focused on what you don't have instead of being focused on what you do have. This is why I tell people focus on the process of creating videos. This is why I tell people focus on the appreciation for the subscribers you've already got, and they will multiply. If you want to focus on, the amount of money that you're making from your YouTube channel, show appreciation for the amount of money you're already making, whether it's $1 or $100 or $1,000. If you focus on creating appreciation for what you've already got, you will attract more of what you've already got. But if you're focused on the lack of money, on what you don't have coming in, then you're going to attract more of what you don't have coming in. And based on the intensity of the emotions is going to be the intensity of how fast it works for you. Because our emotions are just a scale. And we've been talking about this emotional scale. If you really want to understand the emotional scale, I recommend reading a book called Power versus Force. There's a link to it in the description below on Amazon. It details the emotions and where each emotion fits on the scale. And it goes through the negative emotions, what we call the neutral zone, which is the neutral emotions that don't have any emotional attachment to them, and then or any fear or any negativity or positivity. They're literally neutral, and there's like just a handful of emotions in that neutral zone, and then there's the positive emotions and the highest level of emotions, and where different people fit on the scale of emotional awareness and emotional growth. And the higher emotions on the emotional scale are peace, love, unconditional love, joy, and appreciation. And so when you're in those highest levels of emotion, the emotions of appreciation, unconditional love, joy, and doing things just for your love of doing it, when you're creating content for the love of creating content and you put it out there and you just put it out there to reach whoever it's intended to. That's the other thing. When you start creating content, then when you start creating content from that place, you're going to be inspired to create certain content. And this is where your intuition kicks in. And this is what a lot of people don't listen to their intuition. If you have an intuition, especially in a positive emotional state, and you have an intuition to create a certain piece of content, especially when you're working on these affirmations to improve something in your life, if you have that inspiration, that is yourself telling you this is what you need to do to make this a reality. So make that piece of content. Whenever I create this show is not like my normal content. It's not planned out. It's kind of planned out. I kind of have an idea of what I'm going to say, but it's not scripted out. It's not pre-planned out. And good night, boatman. Have a great night, sir. So our content is not pre-planned out. It's what I call inspired content, which is what it's all about. For me, I meditate on this content. I knew, that I was asked this question by Pia last week about it. And so I had been contemplating it most of the week off and on. And then I was doing a meditation on this question that she asked during the show. And I knew during that meditation I needed to do a show on it. And that's what I decided to do today. And so then before this show, and I was contemplating how I would approach it, the different aspects of it that I wanted to talk about. And as I was preparing for the show, just an hour before the show, I sat down and I did a 30-minute meditation on this show, just looking for the inspiration. And I was just giving gratitude for this show and giving gratitude that it would reach the people that it needed to reach, and that the right people would find this show and listen to it, whether they catch it on the live or they catch it on the replay. The right people are going to see this content. And I put it out there, and I create this kind of content for the sake of creating the content. I love this kind of content. I love talking about this stuff, and I can sit here and talk about it all night long. But I won't, but I could. But here's the thing. When it comes to reaching those people, when it comes to how many people are going to see this content, it's not on my control, and it's something outside of my ability to control. So I don't worry about it. I put it out there, I create the message, and I let the message come to me. I'm going based on kind of what I feel, as well as this is why I like watching the chat, because as we're watching the chat becomes co-creators in the content. As people ask questions or make comments about what we're talking about, and we respond to those comments, you in the chat become a co-creator in the content with us. This is why I love live streaming, because now we can all bring our energy together to co-create content that's going to be helpful not only to you, but to other people that may be listening to this show on the replay. And that's what we are here to do. This is why I love live streaming. This is one of the things I have contemplated doing, is just doing live stream content, because this is one of my favorite ways of creating content. And it's because of the ability to co-create with the audience, which we can't really do with a recorded video. We kind of do, because most of my recorded videos are to answer questions that people have asked me, or that I've seen. I go to, different Facebook groups, other people's live streams. I'm constantly writing down questions people are asking in the live streams, and especially the ones that the other channel owners didn't answer, or didn't answer very well. I love Nick Nimmons live every Saturday, because I get a whole list of questions almost every time that he didn't answer. Sometimes he answers a question, but he doesn't answer it very well. And the funny thing is, like, I talk about, some of these spiritual things and some of these existential things that other YouTubers don't talk about. It's one of the reasons I created this show, because it's something that's really important to me. And I know from having talked to a bunch of other YouTubers about this kind of stuff, that there's a lot of other YouTubers that are interested in this kind of stuff. And there's nobody in the YouTube growth space that is addressing it, that's talking about this kind of stuff and how it applies to us as a YouTuber. Everybody's scared of it. And I know it's not going to drive thousands of views. I know it's probably not going to drive millions and millions of views. This is not going to be the viral video that's going to bring in millions of subscribers to my channel. But that's not the purpose of the content. This purpose of this content is because I feel driven to create it, and I feel driven to share it with whoever needs to hear it. And if somebody needs to hear it, they're going to find it. That's the way you want to create content. Now, you need a balance between content that's, done the other way, where we plan it out and we do all those things and we try to get the views. There's a place for that type of content as well. And I think we need a balance of the two, because this kind of content, when you're creating the inspired content, the content that just flows through you, that comes through from your alignment with yourself and comes from just opening yourself up to inspiration. When you create that kind of content, you can make a deeper connection with people when you hit the right people. But it's less about you and more about creating for the sake of creating. And that's what's going to give you fulfillment, because it doesn't matter if people watch it, you're going to be fulfilled from just the sense of create. And also knowing this is going to be on my live stream. This is going to be on my channel for replay forever, or as long as YouTube exists. So it might be next week that just 100 people that need to see this video find it. It might be in a year from now that YouTube serves it to just the right keyword, and 1,000 people need to see this video, and it's here. Once you create it, it's there for whoever needs it whenever they need it. I have a video that I published 8 years ago that is still getting views and comments today. I know, because I just checked the view. Well, I can't say today, but I just checked the video a couple of days ago, and it's got fresh comments from the last time I checked it, just a few months ago. It's got over 50,000 views on it. It was done in 480p, and it was before they did custom thumbnails, so the thumbnail on it sucks. The title on it sucks, but it's still getting views and traffic. It's not the technical video quality that matters. It's the quality of the content that matters. And it's being out there and being available whenever people need it. Once you put it out there, it may not bring you hundreds of views today. I think whenever I was running that channel actively 8 years ago, I think that video had like 40 or 50 views on it. Now it's got 50,000 people. It's got over 1,000 comments. So over 1,000 people were so engaged in the video. Most of them are positive comments, people thanking me for creating the video and showing them how to do what I was showing them how to do. You don't get that kind of engagement from a boring video that people weren't interested in. You get that kind of video by sharing a message that's helping people, by speaking from your experience and speaking from what you know. The evergreen content. This is evergreen content. I'll have tutorial videos on this channel that might be on YouTube for years, but they might be outdated next week because YouTube makes a change in the system, and all of a sudden the step-by-step tutorial I did is no longer valid and no longer worth anything. And it's a completely outdated video. In fact, one of the first videos I created on this channel never even got published. By the time I recorded and edited the video, YouTube had changed the tool, and I had to go back and redo the entire video. They redid the entire homepage customization tab. I had just recorded and edited a video on how to set up your YouTube homepage, and then they changed the whole dang tool by the time I got the video done editing and got it ready to publish. When you're doing those kind of tutorial type videos, the technology is going to change and it's going to outdate your content. But if you're creating content like this that's evergreen, it's not going to change. Beliefs are not going to magically disappear. How you structure your beliefs, how you change your beliefs is not going to structurally disappear. So you want to be creating that evergreen content, but you also want to be creating content from inspiration, that whatever you feeling inspired to do when you're in a positive emotional state, and especially if you're focusing on something specific, because inspiration is usually your higher self telling you to do something, and because your higher self knows where you're at mentally, emotionally, and it knows what your path of least resistance to getting what you want. And it's trying to tell you this is the path of least resistance, and that's what intuition is. Your intuition is telling you this is the path to getting what you want. So if you're focused on something specific, whether it's income or whether it's more subscribers or more viewers, if you're focused on something that you want and you get an inspiration to make a piece of content, make that piece of content. It works every single time. It may not work instantly, it may take a little time, but it works every single time I've ever done it. And every time I've ignored my inspiration, I've regretted it. Every single time. I try to live without regrets. Regrets are one of the negative emotions that we need to try to avoid. But when you have something, when you have an inspiration to do something and you don't follow through with it, it will leave you regretting the decision not to follow through on it. Because every single time I've had an inspiration to do something or to not do something, which has been my case in many things, I've had an inspiration not to go somewhere. I wound up going there, and then something bad happened while I was there that I would have avoided had I not been there. Don't ignore your intuition, because your intuition is an internal guide to help you find the path of least resistance to getting what you want. But you have to be in a positive emotional state when you receive the intuition, because here's one of the keys, one of the downsides to negative emotions. When you're in a negative emotional state, it will distort the intuition, and so you might feel an urge to do something that may not be in your best interest, or it may not lead you down the right path. But you'll always prove yourself to be true. Whether you believe, it's the old saying Henry Ford said, whether you believe you can't or you believe you can, you'll always prove yourself right. Whether you believe something to be true or you believe it to not be true, you'll always prove yourself right. Whatever you believe, you always reprove to yourself. This is the law of attraction, because whatever you believe is what you're attracting into your life. So you're going to see more evidence of it and constantly reinforcing that belief. Excuse me. And this is the problem, is when we close our mind off to other beliefs that other people have, then we have conflict with other people instead of allowing them to have their own beliefs being separate from yours. Because you're trying to believe, whenever you start believing that your beliefs are more important than other people's beliefs, or more true than other people's beliefs, because your beliefs may be true for you, but it may not be true for somebody else. And that's one of the keys of understanding our beliefs too. We all have different beliefs. You have different beliefs than I do. And you might think I'm full of crap with all the stuff I'm spewing. And that's okay. I believe in what I'm saying. I believe it to be true because of the evidence in my own life of seeing it come true. But it's up to you what you choose to do with it. It's up to you what you believe. I'm putting the message out there. It's up to the viewer what you do with it and how you respond to it. So we've been going for an hour and a half now, rambling on, having some fun, talking about beliefs and talking about YouTube and how these things affect our YouTube growth. So if you want to focus on creating more empowering beliefs about your YouTube channel, whether it's your subscribers, your view counts, we have an abundance of all of them out there just waiting for you. Abundance is out there just waiting for you to find it. So if you want to increase anything about your YouTube, whether it's your views, your subscriber count, the money you're making from YouTube, you need to first look into your beliefs about it and how it's working. If you're complaining, if you're engaging in the negative emotions in regards to your YouTube channel, your lack of subscribers, if you're focused on your lack of subscribers, if you're focused on your lack of views, if you're focused on your lack of income, you're going to attract more lack into your life. And so you need to shift your beliefs out of lack and into abundance and rewrite your beliefs and empower them with positive emotions. And when you do that, you're going to instill more powerful beliefs into your life. You can do this with every belief in your life. I'm trying to kind of put it in the context of YouTube because that's the topic of our channel. But this can be done in any area of your life. If you have a fear that's stopping you from doing things in your life, if you have a fear that is stopping you from going and doing the things that you want to do, if you have an anxiety about something, if you're fighting with depression, look into your beliefs, because all your negative emotions and all of your positive emotions are guided and powered by your beliefs. They come from your beliefs. So if you want to change your emotional state, look into your beliefs and the thoughts that you're having on an unconscious basis, because beliefs are just unconscious thoughts that we're having over and over and over again because we've accepted them to be true. So we continue having that thought. So rewrite those unconscious thoughts to be something that's going to be more empowering and that's going to lead you to accomplishing and achieving what it is that you want. And you can transform your life. It won't happen overnight. It's a journey, it's a process. It's not something that happens instantly. But you can start slowly changing the course of your life, one belief at a time. And it has a snowball effect. The more you do this, the faster it's going to go. The faster you're going to be able to instill new beliefs, one, but the more you're going to see the changes in your life, and other people will start seeing the change as well. I hope you have a fantastic night. I hope that this has been helpful for you in understanding how your beliefs affect you as a YouTuber and what you can do to change your negative beliefs into more empowering beliefs to help you grow as a content creator. If you have any questions, make sure you leave the questions in the comments below. All of our content is created by answering questions from you. Y'all, those of you that are viewing our channel are co-creators with us in creating the content. If you're new, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, give us a subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and make sure you join me and Adrian Friday morning at 11:30 a.m. where we're going to talk about creating merch for your channel and how you can earn some additional revenue, even as a small channel, by adding merch into your channel. I'm working on setting up merch myself, and so that's why I invited her on to talk me through how to do it. And we're going to be answering questions and helping understand how to design, how to create merch, and how to get it out there and get people buying it, even if you don't have the merch shelf on your channel yet. So we're going to be talking about all that stuff. She's been really successful at it on her farm's channel. We'll see y'all Friday, and you have a fantastic night. Thanks for joining us.